Hello guys, this is Liam 2.0 and welcome to my Oscar-worthy YouTube channel. Okay, probably not quite that high quality, but hopefully you'll enjoy today's video where I am guessing who's gonna win the Oscars. I'm gonna go through by each category and try to pick out the film or the actor or the sound designer, the composer, who I think is gonna win the Oscar. Did that make any sense? I don't know, seems pretty simple, you guys will be able to get it. Just before we start, this is all for fun. I'm not a professional movie critic, although I fancy myself one, and I also know there's, like, always controversy with the Oscars or whatever. I'm not a part of that. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just gonna have a fun time trying to rank these movies. If I haven't seen a movie, I'll be honest about it, but I have seen a lot that are on these lists. With all that boring intro stuff out of the way, let's get going. So here I have my computer, and I'm on the Oscars website, on the Oscar nominees tab, of course, and right up front is Best Picture. I think I want to save this one for last. Let's go down to the bottom of the site. Let's start all the way down at the bottom, which is Writing Original Screenplay. For this we have Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. So Marriage Story was a really good movie. It's a Netflix movie, so you have no excuse not to see it if you have Netflix. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was really clever and smart. I like that movie. And Knives Out was very interesting because it was a new take on the murder mystery genre, a very updated, modern, fresh one, and I really enjoyed it. I think that the Oscar is going to go to Knives Out for this, but that wasn't the best picture out of all of those. Writing Adapted Screenplay. I'm not going to read out every single one of these. I didn't know The Joker was an adapted screenplay. I guess they mean from, like, comic books. Little Women, I mean, that's just a book that came before it. I'm gonna go, I don't know actually. I'm gonna go with Little Women for this category because everyone seems to love the movie, and of course it was a famous book before then, so sure, Little Women, best adaptation. Now, visual effects, Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, Lion King, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and 1917. I have not had the chance to see 1917 yet. I understand what the concept is, but I don't think I would give the visual effects Oscar to that. Is there a cinematography one maybe? But I'm so biased here. I think all of these deserve the Oscar, besides maybe Lion King. That's just a bad movie. The live action one, not the original. I love the original Lion King, but this should not get an Oscar. So I hope that Avengers Endgame gets this Oscar for best visual effects, but it's probably going to go to The Irishman for the de-aging technology. Sound mixing, there is no doubt about it, that is going to Ford v Ferrari. I literally walked out of the theater and in my review I wrote, it's going to get the Oscar for sound mixing. The car noises mixed with the score and just everything else going on in that movie was perfect. I loved it. That was something that you really should have seen in cinemas. Sound editing, I mean, that could also go to Ford v Ferrari in my opinion, but maybe Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. There was a lot of sound effects in there, and I liked how that movie sounded, even if I didn't particularly like the plot. I'm gonna have to skip the short films because I haven't seen those. I'm so sorry. Now, production design. The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Parasite. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should get it, in my opinion. That is my prediction for who's gonna win the production design Oscar. It looked like, I think, 1960s Hollywood. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful film. Quentin Tarantino outdid himself with that, in my opinion. Music, original song. I mean, I bet I know what's gonna get it, Into the Unknown from Frozen 2, but that is not as good of a song as Let It Go. Like, that's just what they were trying to do. They were trying to make another song that was as popular so that they could sell it to radio stations and little children all over the world would be singing Into the Unknown. But music, original score, I don't know about that. How about, I'd say Rise of Skywalker. That's John Williams, and I think he deserves it. I just mean it's probably his last Star Wars film. The Star Wars soundtrack is so recognizable. He added some great pieces to it for The Rise of Skywalker. I think it's totally worth it. The Oscar should go to John Williams for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. I don't even remember the score in Marriage Story or the score in Joker. Those didn't stand out to me. I just realized there's some very recognizable names in this category. Randy Newman, Alexandra Desplat, or however you say his name, John Williams, and I'm sorry guys, haven't heard of you. Makeup and hairstyling, that can go to, how about Maleficent or Joker? I don't know if it should go to Joker, but it was a really cool, like, look and aesthetic to that movie. I'm gonna go with Joker. International feature film. I didn't really see any of these, so I think we're gonna have to skip over that one to film editing. And I don't really know what should get this. I mean, maybe The Irishman? Come on, there's always some tough competition. I don't think Ford v Ferrari should get this one. I don't think it was the most creatively edited thing ever. Maybe there was some groundbreaking thing I don't know about, but I'm gonna go with The Irishman for that one. Unfortunately, I'm also behind on my documentaries, so we're gonna skip over that. Directing. This lineup is ridiculous. Martin Scorsese, Todd Phillips, Sam Mendes, Quentin Tarantino, and Bong Joon-ho. I hope I said his name right. The issue is I'm so biased. Like, obviously I enjoyed some of these films more than others, so trying to be objective about it can be really difficult. Who do I think would win Best Directing? That's like a really big achievement. I mean, Martin Scorsese, incredible job, but Quentin Tarantino, incredible job. In 1917, it's like it's all shot in one take. That takes some talent. In my opinion, it should go to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but my guess is that it's going to go to 1917. Costume design, we have The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Ooh, another good lineup. The Irishman, no, it wasn't, I mean, what, it was just suits and stuff. Jojo Rabbit, yeah, it took place during World War II. It was a different take on that, a comedy take. Yeah, I mean, I guess they did a pretty good job. Joker, again, I love the aesthetic of that movie. It felt gritty and dark and real, so it could very well go to that. Little Women, I mean, it's an older movie. Of course, it has costumes, and they're not just wearing normal clothes. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, loved the aesthetic of that movie as well, and I think it could also get it. I think it should probably go to Joker, though, in my opinion, because they had all of these different clown designs and stuff for all of these different actors, and especially Joker himself was a really terrifying character by the end of it, so I think they did a good job with him. Oh, there is a cinematography category. That's awesome. The Irishman, Joker, Lighthouse, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again. Already spoke about most of these films. Some of these films were nominated to like 10 and 11 times, so you know my opinions. I think it'll probably go to 1917 if I had to guess, because managing to do a take like that, one long take, it would get really easy to be lazy with the cinematography, I feel like. But from the trailers at least, I haven't seen it, it looks beautiful. And if Roger Deakins managed to not make people in the audience motion sick from that, then he deserves the Oscar. Animated feature film. I didn't see a lot of these. I've heard that How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World or whatever it is called, is good. Toy Story 4 I enjoyed. I don't think it was an amazing film or it should be critically acclaimed or whatever. I'd probably guess this Oscar would go to Klaus, or Klaus, however you're supposed to pronounce that. And here we go, on to the big roles. Actress in a supporting role: Kathy Bates, Laura Dern, Scarlett Johansson, Florence Pugh, and Margot Robbie. All wonderful actors. I don't know that Laura Dern had that much to do in Marriage Story. I mean, she was fine. I did not see Bombshell. I did not see Richard Jewell. I mean, I know these people can act. I'm gonna guess Laura Dern for this. Let's just go with that. Actor in a supporting role: Tom Hanks, Anthony Hopkins, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and Brad Pitt. 2 of these people are from The Irishman. That's how good of a movie it was. I did not see The Two Popes, but I loved all the acting in the rest of these movies. Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood did an amazing job. All of these people are amazing. Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, we know they can act, especially in that type of movie like The Irishman. I'd probably give it to Tom Hanks, though, for his amazing portrayal of Mr. Rogers. It was incredible. Like, he felt like the real person. And here we go. Actress in a leading role: Cynthia Erivo, Scarlett Johansson, Saoirse Ronan, Charlize Theron, and Renee Zellweger. Okay, why are the names so hard here? What are they trying to do to me? Okay, we have Harriet, Marriage Story, Little Women, Bombshell, and Judy. Didn't see a lot of these. Actually, Marriage Story is the only one I saw out of these, but Scarlett Johansson, you deserve the Oscar for Marriage Story. That was incredible. It felt so real. Their performances were practically perfect. Okay, actor in a leading role: Antonio Banderas, Leonardo DiCaprio, Adam Driver, Joaquin Phoenix, and Jonathan Pryce. I don't even know what to say here. These are all fantastic actors, and they really convince you of who they're playing. Besides Adam Driver, he felt like he was playing Kylo Ren playing a normal person. So while he did an amazing job, I don't think I would think the Oscar is going to him. Leonardo DiCaprio did a really good job. I would say, if I was the one giving the Oscar, I think it would go to Joaquin Phoenix, and I think it probably is. I think it's going to Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. That acting was out of this world. It wasn't a sci-fi movie, it was dark and gritty and awesome. And finally, we're back up at the top. Oscar nominees for Best Picture. We have Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Obviously, all of these films deserved to be on this list. Maybe there were others. I'm sorry if your favorite movie didn't get on this list. All of these are really, really good, and I could see most of these winning. I don't know about Ford v Ferrari, and I don't know if Little Women could win the Oscar. Possibly. I don't know if it was quite that good. 1917 was a really cool idea, but the one-take thing has been done before. Granted, not to that scale and in a violent war movie. I would so love to give it to Marriage Story. I thought that movie was incredibly well done. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood also deserves it in a way. Jojo Rabbit, I haven't seen it, but I've heard all about it, and I think that's a really cool idea in my opinion. The Irishman and Joker, those are my 4 choices right here. Marriage Story, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, and The Irishman. And out of those 4, this is so difficult. I think I can knock Marriage Story off, and I think I'm gonna knock Joker off, so it might be between Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and The Irishman, and if I had to guess between those 2 films, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will take home the Oscar for Best Picture this year. I could be so wrong, and that's the fun of this. I cannot wait to look back and see exactly how wrong I was when the Oscars premiere sometime later this year, early February, I think. If you have any differing opinions, I would love to hear them in the comments. Honestly, I love discussing movies, all things movies. That's why I thought I'd talk about the Oscars. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you didn't mind this one-off video, and see you in another one. Bye!